Good evening. I'd like to call to order the November 15th meeting of the Stillwater Planning Commission. Item 2, land use items for discussion and possible action. Trade and Development LLC final plat PZ-16-2136, requesting review and approval of the final plat of Trayton Heights Estates, Section 2, consisting of 43 residential lots. Mr. Beatty.
I am Mr. Beatty. This is Section 2 of residential subdivision. The first phase was just this north edge. There are other phases for related development going on to the west, but this hatched area is the area of the preliminary plat approved at our last meeting, and that's the final plat we're discussing. Here's a view of the final plat. There's a detention drainage heading to the southeast, and part of that outlot they'll use for residential or a playground, small neighborhood playground. It connects to two existing streets. This is a view. The top photo is looking from the northeast corner, looking back to the west. And then the lower one is looking back to the south. So we're kind of on a ridge line there and kind of going over the ridge. This is a portion of the preliminary plat approved in the first week of November. The preliminary plat revisions and responses were received, reviewed, and staff's approved them. The findings are that the final plats is compatible with the comprehensive plan, which calls for low-density residential. It conforms to the RSS zoning district regulations. The one condition, the improvement plans are under review, and there's still some changes that need to be made before we can present the final plat to City Council for approval. But as far as this is concerned, we're recommend approval.
Any questions? All righty, we'll go ahead and open the public meeting, asking anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please step forward and state your name and address.
Good evening, Chris Anderson with SMC Consulting Engineers. Just read the staff report and agree with the comments, and we just asked for approval of the plat tonight.
Appreciate that. Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this item? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and ask for those who wish to oppose this item. Please step forward and state your name and address. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public meeting and ask for staff's alternatives.
Alternatives, you can accept our findings and approve the proposed plat. You can find that there's more items to be discussed and deny the application, or you can continue to a certain date or table the request. Any questions?
I believe so. Any discussion?
I'd make a motion to accept findings and recommend that the City Council approve the proposed map amendment as presented.
Second.
Let's vote. And that will pass 5-0. Item B, JES Development Specific Use Permit, PZ-16-2144, requesting review and approval of a specific use permit to construct a multifamily development at property address 3098 East 6th Avenue in the CS Commercial Shopping Zoning District. Mr. Beatty.
This is a specific use permit, a piece of property located off 6th Street, just west of Mockingbird. Its zoning is commercial shopping. The requested use is for senior apartments. The surrounding zoning districts are RTM to the north, CG to the west and to the south, and CS to the east. There are two existing apartment buildings you can see in the background photo there that have just been constructed to the north. This is a ground shot looking back to the east and to the northeast from the 6th Street drive just to the west of the property. The property is the unmowed portion there. The tract that would be developed is right here in the foreground. This was the original site plan approved with the original approval of the SUP back in January. You'll note that there are 3 buildings proposed. The new proposal, and that's, I apologize for the fuzzy picture there. The new proposal is a single building and with kind of an L shape there with an additional story. The building out to the west here is a proposed tornado shelter that they may incorporate into the building. But the site plan changed from a 3-building SUP to a single building, multiple stories. Find that the CS zoning is compatible with comprehensive plan. An SUP is required for multifamily development in the CS zoning. The new SUP is required because of the significant changes we thought with the site plan and the different number of buildings. The changes from the approved SUP was removal of 2 residential structures and the addition of another floor to the apartment building, so it went from 3 to 4. Any questions?
No questions. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this item, please step forward, state your name and address.
Thank you, sir. My name is Colby Schwartz with JES Development. I was here back in January. Live in Yukon, Oklahoma. Just here to answer any questions in regards to the changes of the SUP from the previous one.
Mr. Schwartz, any questions for him?
Just that, if it goes to 4 stories and it's for elderly people, how are you proposing to get that many, get the people like at the top down in the case of a tornado or something like that?
We construct these type of structures all throughout Oklahoma, Missouri, Georgia as well. Being, in Oklahoma myself, I think we all know in this modern age, we usually get much more warning as far as time. And that's why, as staff said, that we're looking to incorporate that structure. That's just required from the Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency, obviously, is to have adequate storm shelter for everybody, every resident. So, but most likely that will be moved inside or made a subfloor or something like that. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this item? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and ask for anyone that wishes to speak against this item. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, ask for staff's alternative.
Alternatives. You can accept the findings and approve the specific use permit. You can find that the SUP is not appropriate for the property and deny the application, or you can continue the request to a certain date or table the request.
Any discussion?
Make a motion to accept staff findings and recommend the city council approve the specific use permit.
Second.
Let's take a vote. Passes 5-0. Item 3, approval of the meeting summary for discussion and possible action for the regular meeting summary of November 1st, 2016.
Move to approve.
Second.
Let's vote. That will pass 5-0 as well. Item 4, miscellaneous from staff. The next planning commission meeting scheduled for December 6th. Leadership Stillwater will be joining us for that meeting. And with that, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Let's vote. We are adjourned.